This week's readings, we hear Christ tell us about humility. He tells us that humility is important. Those who are exalted will be humbled, those who are humbled will be exalted. And so he tells us that we should strive to be humble, and the opposite of the scribes and the Pharisees. He says, listen to what they teach you, but don't follow how they act. And so in humility we see an understanding of our own lowliness, and therefore being able to be submissive to God. Now you can see why this wouldn't be appealing to people then, and it isn't really appealing to people now. It doesn't sound fun, it doesn't sound easy, and a lot of people would say, why? What's the point of that? But when we look at really what humility is, truly knowing who I am, then that is understanding my own lowliness in comparison to God, to understand who God is and to understand who I am. And so that's very important for my life, and it's a very good goal to have, is to understand that lowliness, and therefore also to have a submissiveness to God and to His will. St. Augustine tells us that humility is the foundation of all other virtues. So how do we strive to increase in humility? So the first thing is to pray for humility. So this week in our prayer, we'll pray and ask for humility and be ready, because God will give it to you, give you ways where you can see your own nothingness, give you ways to serve those around you, to acknowledge your nothingness. And then the second way is to put others, consider others as better than you are. And this is sometimes even more difficult, because we tend to be very prideful, and we don't necessarily say to myself, I'm better than everyone around me, but it comes out in what I think. I'm the best driver on the road. My ideas, my way of doing things is obviously better than anyone else. I don't know why we wouldn't do it my way. The way that I communicate is better than this person or that person. And so without realizing it, pride comes in, and we decide that our way is better and who I am is better than the people around me. So pray, ask for humility, acknowledge our nothingness, and then as St. Paul says in his letter to Philippians, do nothing from selfishness or conceit, but in humility count others better than yourselves. So let's focus on that this week and allow God to move in our lives, help us to see ourselves truly as we are, and live accordingly. God bless.